right, don't worry. We're going to go through each of the items, and then what we're going to do is we're going to show all the audience and obviously teach you how to do the individual pieces. Okay, so just bear with me. So, the first item we're going to show you today is this chest of drawers, okay? Now, the whole title of this upcycle is doing things for under £50. So each item has been purchased, and all the items to do are all for under £50, okay? So this chest of drawers I picked up from a charity shop in Essex for about £25. So what we did was we sanded the whole chest of drawers down, we painted the top and the sides with a B&Q wood varnish, and then we primed the front and painted it cream, okay? Now as you can see, I don't know if you can see from there, but what we did was we created a really unusual template and a stencil. So what we're going to do now, we're going to show you guys how you can do this yourselves.
Must be an artist to be able to do that.
Well, that's the beauty of this tip I'm going to show you now. So was it Carol?
Yes, yeah.
Carol. The beauty of this tip is that you don't need to be an artist. Anyone can do this. So what you need to do is go to any good DIY store, okay, and find where they've got the wallpaper section, and go get a sample piece of wallpaper. Now the beauty of this tip is absolutely free. They give you the sample pieces away. So you want to pick a piece of wallpaper, something that's got an interesting pattern to it, okay? And then we're going to take out the pattern that we want, and we're going to cut it out. Now what I've done is a bit of a Blue Peter style. Here's what we prepared earlier.
I didn't have to do that.
Well, obviously, you know, it's not too hard, but when you're cutting out the stencil, you want to make sure you keep your lines crisp and defined. Because when you paint it later, if they're not very crisp, it will show through when you paint it, okay? Now, even if you make a little mistake, don't worry, you can trim it up a little bit, but obviously don't go too crazy with the trimming, otherwise you'll change the whole shape of the stencil.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is just put a bit of newspaper down. I don't know what's in today's newspaper, probably nothing that interesting.
Not after the budget.
No, no, definitely not off the budget. So we just put a... Now also remember, when you're cutting out your template, it's best to put a bit of cardboard down or something like that. Because what you don't want to do is, after you've upcycled your chest of drawers, you might have a DIY repair job, you have to sort of protect it, that surface. So make sure you always protect the surface. So what we're going to do is, we're now going to attach this stencil, so this is sort of, instead of showing you, it's going to be on the chest of drawers. So what you're going to do, I'll come over, I've got an apron here for you somewhere, there we go, a beauty bit of fashion. Now if you look upstairs when they've got all the fashion stuff, this is this year's new spring and summer collection, okay? So if you just put that on, and we're all looking very stylish today.
I feel like a butcher.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put some spray mount onto the stencil. And the reason we use spray mount is, so when you put it on, if it's not quite right, you can peel it off again and put it back on again as many times as you want. Rather than, also where you've got the fiddly pieces there, if you just put masking tape around the edges, when you paint that won't stick to it. So that's why we'll be using spray mount. So if you come over here, just give it a good shake, and just make sure you sort of lightly cover the whole stencil. That's it, don't be shy. You won't bite.
Okay.
Let's have a look.
Don't want it to run out.
Just put a little bit more on there. Now when you're spraying the stencil with a spray mount, don't put it on straight away. Give it a few seconds to get tacky, and then we're going to put it into place. Okay? So we give that a few seconds. So what you're going to do is, you're going to use this as within your chest of drawers, and we're roughly going to place it in the middle there somewhere. So there's your stencil. So literally just put it over and put it in place where you think you'd like that stencil to be.
In the centre, I think.
Yeah? You happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we do now is, we literally pat down all the little pieces. Okay. That bit's not sticking quite well, so there's a little bit more spray mount. And that's the beauty of the spray mount, as I said. Also a bit of hair on there. Is if you haven't quite put enough on, you can literally take it off again.
That's great.
And spray it on, and you just remove it and place it as many times as you want. Make sure we've got all these little bits on there. There we go. And then the little lid comes off. Now
That's what would happen to me.
that wasn't planned, now was it? Okay, now that should be enough.
Oh, that's a lot.
So we're going to leave that for a few seconds to get tacky, and then we're going to put it in place.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. there you go.
Think that's sticking up?
Yeah. And what we're trying to achieve is we need to make sure we push all the pieces down, okay? So when we paint it later, the whole thing gets covered, it doesn't lift up. Okay? You happy with that? So look at you. Am I? Yeah.
You're the boss.
I'm the boss. Okay, so, yeah. No, we need a little bit more there.
Yes. Anywhere near enough.
And there was me thinking this was going to be easy. There we go. Okay. So what we're now going to do is, as this would be obviously your chest of drawers, you now need to protect the rest of it. Because obviously when we paint this, you don't want that to now come through onto your chest of drawers. So I'm going to give you some more newspaper.
Okay.
And what I want you to do with the masking tape is literally, I'll show you on one piece. So we're going to cover it up. Just hold that there for me. There we go. So we're just going to cover the stencil.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. So everyone, I don't know if everyone can see that from there. So what we're doing is, where we put the stencil, we're just now protecting the rest of the areas around it. So we just do this quickly, just for demonstration purpose. If you just hold that for me, and I'll quickly put a little bit on here. Right, there we go. And this is such an easy technique, and it can only take you literally a couple of minutes.
You put a lot more glue on.
Well, that's it. You just need to put a little bit more glue on. So let's make sure the other sides. So if you take one side.
Okay. What do I do with this bit?
Yeah, there we go. Just put that on like that. Okay.
You can do this by yourself, right?
Well, of course I can do it by myself, but as I said, I just want to show people and yourself that anyone can do this.
Yeah.
So we're going to pull this over like this. The last little bit on there. There we go. We just need one little piece for either side, and then we're done. And then you get the fun part. Then you get to paint it. Alright?
My favourite.
The favourite bit. Okay. So here we go, we take another bit of newspaper there. Now, do you do a lot of DIY at home?
No. That's what I've got a husband for.
Oh, that's what you've got a husband for. Okay. So he does most of the DIY, does
Yeah,
he?
but I have to clear up after.
Oh, so you do the clearing up, do you? Oh, I see. That's not fair, is it?
Not really, no. He's better at it.
Oh, is he better at it? Okay. Well,
Don't let him hear me soon.
well, hopefully after you've done these, you've seen these tips today, you'll be able to tape on a little mould as well.
Yeah.
So we just do one last piece there, and then we get to start doing the painting. Okay, so just one piece there.
Just come back.
Now, when we're going to paint our stencil, you can use paint, you can brush it with a paintbrush, but I often find it gets very tricky when you're using a paintbrush. Sometimes it bleeds, you don't really get the right effect that you want. So what we're going to use today is high-gloss spray paint. Now, there's a few things you need to remember when you're using spray paint. It's all about ventilation, 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 okay? You need to, it's definitely a safety factor that you need to take into consideration. You need to be in a well-ventilated area. As well as that, you need to wear a safety mask and eye goggles. So, in my little drawer, I now have for you a lovely mask.
Thank you.
There we go.
This is what you get on an aeroplane.
On an aeroplane?
It comes down.
Oh, when it comes down. Well, yeah, I suppose so. There you go. So let's put all this under here. But I can't stress enough that how, when you're doing things like this, you do need to use all the right safety equipment, okay? So let's put this under there. Now you want to give your gold a good shape. Now when you're spraying the spray paint, what we do it so everyone can see it. But you want to basically go further than your actual stencil, okay? Where most people go wrong, they try and paint from there to there, and then when you miss a little bit, you end up putting too much on one side and not enough on the other side. So the best thing to do is probably start from around here and go right past the stencil, okay? And we're going to do short little bursts, just like that, and you sort of want to be about that sort of distance away from the stencil, okay? So what we're going to do Okay? If you hold, what are you left-handed or right-handed? Okay, if you hold that with that hand so everyone can see. Okay? And as I said, so basically you want to start about there and go right to the end and just do go like that. We'll see how this goes, guys. And you want to leave about that sort of distance away when you do it. A little bit closer. What about there?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. A little bit further away. You're a little bit closer. What about that's it? That's it. And it's best to build up the colour gradually. Don't go on too much all in one go. Otherwise, what will happen is it will drip and dribble, and then you have to sand it down. Okay? Do you find that quite? That's why you have to wear. That's why you wear the mask.
You should have one.
Now, did you find that quite easy? That wasn't too difficult. All right?
That's very easy.
Okay.
But the proof is in the pudding.
The proof is in the pudding. Now, obviously, normally you can allow this to dry properly before you remove it, but for demonstration purposes, on a bit of a time scale, so we've got a few other things to show. So what we're going to do, we're just going to remove this like this. There. I feel like Paul Daniels. It's almost a little magic trick, isn't it? I know it's quite hot these days, isn't it? So, remove this. Carol, if you could do the honours, lift it up like that and just slowly peel off the stencil. Hopefully, we should have something nice underneath.
If not, I'm fine.
There you go.
It's like magic.
And that wasn't too hard, was it?
You should show me what to do.
Right, so we'll just put that down there. Okay. So, the next step we're going to do is we're going to look at this bureau. Now, as with the chest of drawers, this bureau, we did this for under £50, okay? I bought this from a shop in Essex, I think it was about £30. So what we did was we sanded the whole bureau, and then we painted, wanted to have the sort of the real nice beauty of the wood. The nice thing about real natural wood is once you've sanded it, you can see the grain, and it's such a beautiful thing rather than this new, flat pack furniture. So we painted it with a B&Q wood varnish, and then what we did is inside, I don't know if you guys can see that, but we replaced the inner panel with a piece of white fabric. Now what we did was, to try and save money, we found this fabric in a fabric shop, and we got it in their sort of scrap box. So most fabric shops have a little box on the side where they have sort of leftover fabric. Yeah, remnants basically. So the beauty of this piece that we got here is quite a lot of it, so we can then use it for another upcycle, which we'll be showing you later. So with this bureau, what we're going to now do is, we're going to show you how to make these lovely bead handles, okay? Now, do you see those?
Yeah.
So what we did was, I went to a car boot sale, and they had a box just broken old bits of jewellery. I'm glad we're quite interested. And as I said, it's a really cheap and effective way of creating something a little bit unusual for your bureau. So what we're going to do is, we're now going to show you how to make these handles. Wow, come on, you must be a little bit confident. You just managed to do the stencil. Right. So, to make the bureaus, as I said, I've got some old beads that I found from broken bits of jewellery, and we're going to take them apart and we're going to re-thread them on a piece of ribbon. So what you want to do is, Carol, you want to start off with what they call an anchor bead. Okay, so the anchor bead is a bead that's basically tie in all the rest of the beads when you re-thread them. So all you've got to do is just tie a couple of knots on one end of there.
So they don't come off.
Yeah, do two. That'll do it, that'll hold.